Hello everyone. Well, we've had quite a week of rough weather and really sub-zero temperatures right across the UK, and we've had a bit of a thaw on. It's actually 4 degrees in a minute. We've just had a hail shower, as you'll see in a minute. The ground is white again, but there wasn't a trace of ice or snow here this morning, apart from in the water butts. So that was good. So I'm here now to assess the damage. So I'll just whiz you around and we'll carry on. So I knew a lot of the crops would be damaged because of this intense freeze we've had. These are beetroot in here, and these are ready to pick and harvest, and we'll be eating these. All that foliage has got battered by the frosts, obviously, but the tubers underneath should be all right. I've never really seen them subjected to such low temperatures before, so we'll find out. Purple broccoli down there, a little bit battered, but they should recover. As should this. This is charred. It looks terrible at the minute. And what I'll need to do here is tidy these up and just let them regrow, and they will. They'll come back. Obviously got my garlic in over there. You can see some garlic just on that bed there. And that's brilliant for the garlic, because all these cloves should split for next year, should have no mono bulbs at all. Just whizzing you over to this side, the parsnips under here, I cut all the foliage off them about 2 weeks ago now. I didn't manage to get them covered before this freeze happened, so they're frozen in the ground presently, but hopefully over the next week or so the ground will defrost and be able to get them out. And this bed here, I've got a fork here ready just to show you, and if I focus in, you can see the ground is still quite firm. It's defrosted about 1 inch on the top, so there's a frozen layer underneath. And I say, if you dig in normal soil, you've got to be careful of that you don't dig that cold in deeper. A few cabbages down there, they look quite worse for wear. We'll just leave them and we'll see what happens. The kale, a little bit bedraggled, but these will pick up. These are very hardy, and they actually look better than they did when I arrived here an hour ago. I'm quite happy with those, so we'll still get crops off them. Moving on up to the next bed, cauliflowers and spring cabbage in here. These don't look too bad. Down here I had a specialty kale called kale and kale. These have got hammered, as have the ones in the polytunnel, which we'll have a look at in a minute. Over the other side, I've got some Brussels sprouts down there. Nothing to write home about. Leeks look a bit battered, but we'll get crops off those. And in this top bed, there was turnips and Swedes and more chard in there. Again, we'll just peel off all the old foliage and see what we got left. And the fennel at the end got hit into the polytunnel now. Now it's quite a mess in here. In here, these buckets and containers were my crack key systems for this year. I was trying these out over winter, and in these tall ones I had Chinese cabbage, and you can see here that this one was very close to just starting to heart up, and a couple of others over there the same. They've been hit by the cold, you can see that. So again, I will just peel off the really damaged leaves and then just see what happens with them. Because I have to admit, for growing them at this time of year, and I've been trying to do this for years, they were the best ever using crack key, so I'm quite pleased. Lettuce in here, they were hit. Pak choy, not so bad, but you can see they've been hit. It's all been hit really. Over on the other side of the tunnel, spinach, not looking too bad, but that's got some growing to do before I can start really harvesting that. Carrots have been absolutely flattened. Hopefully they'll come back. And then I've got Mizuna red streaks, that's a mustard down here. Again, that's been flattened, but that's been picking up for this last hour since I've been down here. So hopeful of getting some crop off that later. Again, I'll just take off some of the rough leaves as the days go by. Lettuce in here, no surprise that got flattened. Some of them look like they may continue, and we'll see. Over on the back, more brassicas, they've all been hit. Again, cabbages and cauliflowers down that back area. But I think that possibly they're suffering more from a lack of water. I only water very lightly in the polytunnel over winter. I found the lighter I water, the less fungal disease and things problems I get here in the polytunnel. And again, another strategically placed fork. I'll just show you. This ground isn't frozen here, and should be really. But what I think's happened as the frost has settled outside, it was mainly frost that were causing the problems for us, and then the low temperatures freezing them. But of course no frost can settle here in the polytunnel, and our water light, hence why it's not frozen. But there we go, that's a good enough reason. Up the top here on the hanging shelf, I've got various leaves that were doing all right. That's a lettuce, that one's been hit. Whether that'll recover, I don't know. And then I've got some mixed mustard leaves and stuff here. This one's looking brilliant, and that is a young lettuce. Now all of these, the soil or the compost in all of them is frozen solid, so we'll see over the next week if this thaw continues how they actually do. And all these are here. There's 2 with radish, old radish seeds in, and 2 with a mix of brassica seeds, but this soil is solid. So there we go. And then there's some more kale in here. Again, looking a bit bedraggled, but they'll pick up. And the little radish trial I had down here, they've had it. So all in all, not too bad outside and inside, apart from I really need to tidy up in here. What a mess. Right, we'll go outside at the back. Now these brassicas that I put in just to test where the sunflowers have been, to see if they would grow, they seem happy enough. A little bit deflated, but they'll recover. They're brassicas, they're fine. The broad beans, however, that I put in here to test in an open position, I normally grow my broad beans in a hot box out the front there. You'll have seen it as we walk past it near the sprouts. These have had it. They're completely gone. And the other beds looking down was where I planted the field beans. Not one has come through, but that's mostly due to me and planting them late, and that's why they haven't come up. But they may do yet, we'll see. So in this back tunnel I've got some komatsu in here, which is a Chinese leaf, and some pak choys down there. They've been hit by the frost, but they're already picking up, so that's good. More crops for later. Not so good, however, with these tomatoes, which would have been obvious. They've completely had it, so that's another bed I can get on with and clear in this next week or so. Now, there's one good thing about this cold weather, is that pests will have taken a severe knock. It's not just a frost which just covers the ground. It's a penetrating cold that's pretty much got into everything. So things like slugs and snails should be less of a problem next year. They'll still be there, and you've got to protect against that, but they won't be as bad a problem as we've had in the last year or two. Now, I feel fairly fortunate with the crops that I've got left. I pretty much knew that a lot of the things were going to die, like the tomatoes, for instance. Some of these brassicas look a bit ropey, but I'm fairly happy because what I do is I push the boundaries all the time. I grow stuff all year round, all the time. And the last 4 or 5 winters, I've been incredibly lucky. We've had no weather like this at all, and I've managed to get crops through. I mean, last year I had fennel that grew through the winter, which is kind of unheard of, especially for up here in the cold north, and say we are a cold county. I mean, I've just broke the ice on a water butt out there this morning because of the Tony Smith challenge, water butt challenge, 6 inches thick. That's how cold it's been here. It's been -10, -11 almost all the way through, with some extreme temperatures some nights as well. So the stuff that's come through I'm happy about. we're not going to go hungry. We're going to have crops, and I will start planting pretty much almost straight away. Not planting, sowing seeds, getting on and getting some more stuff going as quickly as possible. So I'm not unhappy with where I am now, and the things that have died, the problems that's caused, are not unexpected either. So I can just happily move on from this. Now, do be safe out there. My plot is incredibly slick at the moment, especially since we've just had a terrific hail shower about half an hour ago. It was tremendous. But this, you know, it's winter. What do you expect? But that's it from today. Look after yourselves, everyone. Please stay safe, and I'll see you all very, very soon. Ta-ra now.